Welcome everybody, what is up? It's me, Trigger Happy Gamer, and I'm here with
Lisa!
And today
It's become like a sort of tradition for you to yell my name.
Still sick, even worse than yesterday. But
I'm sick too.
We've read creepypastas in the past, and those things,
mostly you.
if you don't know what a creepypasta is, they are scary story characters that originates from the word copypasta, the internet phenomenon of copying, pasting a large amount of text over and over, except for they added creepy because they're scary stories. Now, a lot of them, you don't know if they're real or fake, even if it's obviously a fun piece of fiction, and you can tell. Some of them, like Eilish Jack, my favorite. The reason why he's my favorite was because he's my first creepypasta that I ever read, and it was really well written and executed. Anyway, Sam, have you even read one yet?
I think I've read like one before.
Which was it?
I don't remember, but I was terrified.
I read The Men Drowned, Laughing Jack, Eilish Jack, Jeff the Killer, which was a really boring one. I've watched Marble Hornets, which isn't even a creepypasta, but people seem to love calling it that. But, like everything else, all really good stories, and everything that's good, like let's say Harry Potter, also comes with bad OCs and bad stories and fan fiction. And this, we chose out some of our favorite crappy pastas. The pastas that are that smell a little less than fresh. And we both have two, and we're gonna read it dramatically, and I'm going first. What's your two? Set the mood with the woman in the theater! All caps, so I have to yell, the woman in the theater!
Whenever you hear like a
shut the door so we don't bug people with me screaming.
When we're yelling, that means it's all caps, okay?
It has a star next to it. This is you tried. That makes me laugh. But
get out of the way.
We're kicking stuff because, you know.
I like kicking things.
Okay.
Close.
So don't close it completely.
I did.
Open it a little. Okay.
Why?
So this is a story nobody has told. No one. It says. It doesn't have an author. Okay, caps lock is cruise control for crappy. Okay.
Here's your phone.
They're really short too, so that's why we both did two, but if it's shorter, we might do three.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm just gonna read my two, and then we're gonna switch, and she's gonna read her two. So this is The Woman in the Theater. Me and my schoolmates were you spell it so wrong. It makes me laugh. W-E-R. We're having a theater show the same day that it all started. Our parents were a little bit scared of the theater that we were going to do our show. They told us that little children and workers from the theater were going missing. Parentheses. Also, strange sounds were heard every time that someone got missing. And just to know, most of the grammar mistakes and stuff are from the stories because these people can't spell.
Most.
I'm pretty sure all of them are.
Yeah.
We weren't scared because probably they were just joking around with us. Anyway, the show started, but just when we were going to start, the power went off. The people of the theater start searching the problem, and the parents start getting worried. We were just upset. Then after a few minutes later, everything went silent for us. We didn't hear our parents or our workers of the theater, or the workers of the theater. We were just alone in the same place without hearing anything. My nose is really clogged right now. There was a tiny light start shining. Then a tiny light started shining very low, and we saw a shadow of a woman approaching. Shh, it's dramatic. You be silent and I'll be silent. We thought she was a worker, but when she got more closer, period times 10, we noticed that she wasn't a normal woman. She was tall with gray skin, also a long blue dress with black hair and blood all over her body, and those eyes, especially those curse word eyes, like eyes from an empty soul! Exclamation mark times 3. They were just white! Exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point, without expression. just watching us. Okay.
Oh.
We ran each one hiding in a different spot. Then the woman started approaching to each one of the hiding spots. When the woman saw one of my schoolmates, she ran towards him, grabbed him with her long hands, and at the end took him away, killed him. Blood all over the place. Then she disappeared. The power returned, and the blood disappeared. Disappear, I think. Just as our friend, we never returned to the horrible place. After that, the law decided to close it and start investigating. Now every night I see in my head her in my head laughing. The same place as the last time. Also one day I dream about her killing police officers one by one. So now I can actually have Sam read one of hers. We're changing this to bloodlust. Cause I want the one I'm reading last because it's so bad.
Okay.
So you get to read two, and then I'll read my last one next.
Okay. Another line of murders in the USA. Last night in Miami, one young boy, a dog, a man, 3 young women, and a pregnant woman, all on the same family. Remember to be careful and keep windows locked indoors as well. Keep everyone EWERYONWE
Just keep it.
safe. Shall I say?
No, just skip over that.
Gosh knows when the killer will be caught. Gosh bless you all. Life, so fragile, so easy to destroy. I'm not normal. Not normal. Not anymore, anyway. It was all his fault. All his fault I'm this way. I never wanted to kill, or to become the drunk I am either. But it was all that way. That fateful day, with that awful man. I had just started college. College.
No, that would make me laugh.
I was still young, and I didn't understand the real dangers of the world. The real ones. People like Rich. Rich was one of my peers.
Is that someone's name? It's just like a murder, like, hotel. That's what I'm thinking of.
A year older than I, but somehow a genius. Rich was working to be a scientist and was looking for some test subjects. He assured me they weren't dangerous and he'd pay well. I was swimming in debt, so the idea of some money in my pocket was tempting, and I agreed to his terms and conditions. Little did I know what he really wanted to do to me. As I walked into his small home, I was slowly getting more and more uneasy. I knocked on the freshly polished door. He greeted me quietly and invited me in. I looked at his small home. It was cozy on the inside, but it made me feel uneasy still. Before I knew it, he had a baseball bat to my head, whacking my consciousness away. I woke on a cold metal table. Pain surged, not I just through my head, but my back, eye, and a long part of my right cheek. I felt dry blood caked to my slightly long hair as I stumbled up, my back pain worsening. I finally found a mirror, screaming I, terror as I realized why I was half blind. My left eye was gone. I looked at a large gas
This isn't even like the
gash.
first. Like, a lot of the Krabby Pastas always have one eye missing.
Yeah. My left eye was gone. I looked at the large gash and stitches on my right cheek, and as I raised my blood-stained shirt, revealing a large cobra tattoo on my back. After observing it for some time, I finally understood. It was the sign of a killer pit on all his victims.
Killer pit. I just want a killer pit. No, it's like a little peach pit. You just chuck it at them and they die. It's
before
just guys.
death.
You run up and you hit them in the balls and run away with the pit.
It was a sign of killer pit on all his victims before death. Their corpse always had things missing. Eyes, intestines, hearts, lungs, and brains. A large variety of human organs. I began to look around for him. The minute I found him, he was a corpse. The smell of death coated the room. And I liked it. I desired it. I needed it. After I began to kill, I couldn't stop killing one right after killing one right after the other killing women, children, men, and animals alike. They never suffer though. They never get a chance before I kill them. Please avoid me. If you see me, call the police right away. I can't control myself. It's all just inevitable.
That kind of actually had some potential. So
Yeah.
you're doing Burner. This one's really bad.
This one is Burner. This is like a really bad one. Hello, said James to Kyle at school. Sup, Kyle responded. They both ran to class and were anxious to get out of school. When school was over, Kyle tripped James, causing him to fall in a pile of rocks. One of the rocks went through his skull, causing James mental issues. James' family had no choice but to lock him in a mental hospital. He spent 6 years there, until the mental hospital caught on fire. They got as many people out as they could have. James was one of the unfortunate ones. He burnt horrible, causing his skin to go black and one eye to burn out. He arose from the ashes, seeing his body. He ran to a nearby house and found silver match.
The missing eye again.
He put it on. Also, he stole jeans, a t-shirt, and a jacket. The man who lived there woke up seeing James. James span around, quickly charging the man. The man had a screwdriver and pinned James down.
Bad?
Span.
It's Spawn! Where'd you get banned?
He drilled. The man had a screwdriver and pinned James down. He drilled 4 nails onto each side of James's head. Left, right, up. No.
Left, right, up.
Left, right, top, and bottom. James threw the man off and grabbed the screwdriver and nails. He drilled the man down to a chair. He saw lighter fluid and the matches. He grabbed them also with a knife and cut a hole in the man's stomach. He put the bottle of lighter in the man's stomach and pumped some in. I love volcanoes, don't you? James put the match into his stomach and he started vomiting blood. See, you're a volcano now. James walked out of the door, leaving the man to die. By the way, call me Burner.
This person doesn't even put quotation marks.
Well, yeah, he did.
He put
Call
a red
me
Burner.
Burner.
Not like the
He
actual
grabbed an axe and walked out the door. Local news report. 7 houses had burnt down to ashes, killing 16 also. A man covered in his own blood and burnt from the inside was found in his own house, nailed to a chair. And on the wall it said, Burner, written in ashes. If you see a man named Burner, contact the police.
That one is that one makes me cringe. Okay, this is the worst
That
one.
one was kind of...
Just to prove that I can actually somewhat write, I will pull up my own creepypasta that I wrote. Because I actually helped separate.
Don't slap my butt.
You're my sister, I do what I want. Okay, so this one is Charlie the Killer. So it's one of those. It's one of the not even gonna making sure we're still recording sound. They're really spanned. Okay, anyway. Jeff is nearly 18 now and meeting
It's like another version of Spain.
and meeting Jane the Killer was a big thrill for him as she died in a tragic death from falling down the stairs. But this didn't stop
Falling down the stairs.
Yeah.
So tragic.
I'm pretty sure Jane...
She could have choked on the pee and that would be more tragic.
I probably, I said that's the way I want to go. I want to be, eating a grape, and then someone to tell a really funny joke, and then me to start choking and dying. Don't message me, I'm making a video, Lucas. Anyway, so falling down the stairs, but this didn't stop his psychopathic ways. Charlie was going through a rough bullying stage at school, and was beginning to get...
Which one?
No, it's the most boring thing. One of my characters, Holy, he had an abusive wife, and he
was betrayed by his best friend. That's kind of my fault.
Yeah, no, actually, that was actually both of our fault, so we were crying. But, so this is the most Mary Sue thing. Bullied, abused, raped, family killed them, betrayal. Betrayal, you don't see a lot, though. Jeff the Killer started the whole, you're bullied, and then you become invincible. So okay.
I'm beautiful.
And was beginning to get depressed and hearing voices on her head. They were telling her to do stuff. She just put them on her to the back of her mind and carried on getting shoved into lockers and beat up in the girls' bathroom. See, this is like when I try to write abuse, I don't understand because I'm not abused. Or like I'm verbally bullied, so I've been verbally bullied, so I understand, but
I've been talked about behind
I have too, but I've never heard someone get beat up in the girls' bathroom. Because guess what? They have some justice and teachers will freak out if they see you. I know this because Anyway, she heard the voices screaming at her until one day she snapped and listened to the voices in her head and pulled out the copper piping from the wall and stabbed her bully to get death, then licked the blood off the pipe. She leaned near the bully's body and whispered, "Now you know how I felt when you called me ugly and said I was too fat to meet anyone who'd like me and that I was a whore who should kill myself." My nose is so stubby that I can feel a bubble in my mouth. Anyway. After she realized what she had done, had done, ran away. Ran away. She didn't feel bad about this. Actually, she was quite glad. She wanted to do it more. So Charlie went out. She killed more people because she liked the feeling of knowing she wasn't in fear anymore. Charlie was never a mean girl, except for she killed people. She'd always just sit there and take the crap. Wait, they spelled their Their. I'm pretty sure this is a little kid. I'm sorry, but she had beautiful eyes with brunette hair, but she started wearing really dark makeup and dyed her hair black. She'd read Jeff the Killer story. Yep, see, I told you. Stories and looked further into this as Jeff was her inspiration. She went on, started doing what Jeff did. She used to say, "Don't go to sleep. I want you to feel the pain. I want to." Then she would pull out their guts and burn them in their own stomach acid. That's really hard to do, though. You'd have to have That's actually possible. If we didn't have the lighting on our stomachs would eat themselves. Yeah. Watching as the blood would fly everywhere, Charlie became the talk of the town. One day she went on the search for Jeff the Killer. She looked everywhere, hoping that one day they'll meet. Charlie finally met Jeff. Jeff looked at her. He didn't say anything. His eyes were locked onto hers. He walked up and brushed her hair behind her ear and kissed her on the cheek. Charlie blushed and questioned, "Jeff, why do you like someone like me? I'm a fat, ugly whore." "But you just said you..." Never mind. Jeff looked down at the floor and then looked up at Charlie again. "You're the most beautiful person I've ever met, and you're not fat, ugly, or a whore," Jeff spoke. "Except for, I'm gonna, yeah. I think that we should be together, and as I've learned a lot about you, and I was fascinated." Charlie started blushing as Jeff grabbed her cheek and brought his lips closer to her. She pushed away. "Why did you push me away? Don't be scared of me, please," Jeff said as they stood in the alley in the rain.
What?
As they stood down an alley in the rain. Let's see how... An alley in the rain.
Oh, yeah, my favorite. The one where you think America looks really
I had the urge to kiss you, but I feel as though...
I have another crappy pasta. Go to the normal thing.
Hold on. You'll just leave me. My father left me violently, meaning me and my mother. I don't want to fall in love with you, as then I'll have to trust you, and I don't want to end up killing myself like my mother. Charlie began to explain, "I will never hurt you. You're the most precious thing to me," and blah, blah, blah. We get married, and so after a while, the 2 years, Jeff decided it was time to pop Charlie into question. "Charlie, will you do the honors of becoming my wife?" Jeff's opened the case. "Yes," Charlie's full of joy. "Yes, I will marry you," as tears of joy streamed down both their faces, and they went back home. A week before the wedding, Charlie sits on the bottom. "What's wrong?" "I'm pregnant." "What?" "I'm 13 weeks pregnant, and I was going to tell you before, but I didn't want to make a big fuss, and then we lose it." Charlie, this is great. Credit to Megan and Charlotte. I'm sorry, I knew they were female, but how would... And I'm not reading.
Look, it's creepy!
Yeah, it's creepy. Now, you can't see
I
it.
find that terrifying.
It's
I don't
weird.
know why.
So, just prove that I can actually somewhat write,